All right, well, you just had a little more living wisdom from Sedona here at the Gallery of Wholeness, Harmony, and Radiance. And we want to thank everyone who has shared their living wisdom with us. And one of the things that always comes across to me about the Mayans is how did they get to know the things that they knew that we didn't get to know with all of our Western science until the 1970s? And what I'm referring to is the center of the Milky Way, which is in Sagittarius A. And it was in the 1970s that India sent up the Chandra telescope, which was an X-ray vision telescope that could penetrate the dust clouds and debris that obscured our view of the center of the Milky Way. Well, a lot has happened since then, and what we know is that the Mayans called that place the Great Black Transformer, and they believed that was one of the monsters that devoured the material world and transformed it into a myriad of things, higher states of energy and that. But how did they know this? We want to know. Well, I have my own thoughts about it, and I kind of believe that they had turned through their cultural milling of their understanding of nature and focusing on that for thousands and thousands, 10,000 years or more. And what they found was that they had this intimate connection. And in Western world, we have now labeled it the morphogenic field. And that is the information fields that we have been put together from. It's all connected. The earth is connected to the sun. The earth is connected to the moon. The sun is connected to the Milky Way, and the currents that run from the Great Black Transformer, we now see them and measure them with our satellites and instruments. But the Mayans, they got it from the inside. We're getting it from the outside, but the answer is the same. The energy that comes from the Great Black Transformer, where matter is transformed into high energy light and shoots it out in plasma fields, streams that connect with all the stars in the Milky Way. And when those stars get hit by the plasma stream of the Milky Way, they light up like the supernovas, or they light up like a mini nova. But it's that energy coming from the Great Black Transformer that transforms everything we know in the material world. And currently, with our sun cycle reactivating, there's much speculation that we will be experiencing a tremendous amount of more energy coming from our sun. And there's a theory also that it is the sun's plasma stream that has been raising the temperature of the planet, along with all the other pollution things that we know trap heat. But the main energy that is making the planet heat up is coming from the sun. And so the Mayans knew this, and they had their way of communicating with the sun, and that way communicating with the Great Black Transformer, the center of the Milky Way. They rode the waves of the Earth's magnetic field, information field, the morphogenic field, into the sun. And from the sun, they received permission by the lords of the sun to go to the central sun, to the Hunab Ku. And there they got the download, and then they were allowed, they had rode that wave all the way back to the sun, and then from the sun back to their temples, and where they did the ceremonies, and they dispersed the information that was granted to them about the way our part the way our part of the universe works. And we're all connected, and we're connected to all these things. And the living wisdom of the Mayans is a perfect example of how understanding can come from many different ways of pursuing it. We pursue it with our instruments, and that allow us deeper penetration. The Mayans were much more inner penetration through their inner self, connecting with great nature and allowing great nature to teach them in the spirit world, in the world of the spirit. And the world of the spirit is also another way of looking at the morphogenic field, that which connects us all, that which creates everything, and that which everything that's created goes back into. And we're glad that you were able to be with us this evening and share the living wisdom of the Mayan and us Western artists, so that we can continue to carry on the ideas and symbols and stories and songs and prayers that will bind us together in a greater community of awakened, compassionate activity, so that peace will come and live in our hearts. And when it lives in our hearts, it has a way to touch every other heart with something that is greatly needed in the world, and that is the energy of peace. So we thank you, Ruben. We thank you, Gary. We thank you, Rennick. We thank you, Cassandra and Crystal, for being here tonight and sharing with us this and getting it out into the world so others may be able to share it and be touched by it, inspired by it, so that they may generate their own living wisdom. And that is what we're here for. A place of connectivity, a feeling, deep feeling, a gift from the heart that we share with others, so that our world can be a more harmonious place. Thank you for listening in. Honshin Fine Art, trust your heart.